G'day guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be reviewing the game between Geelong and Essendon at the MCG Saturday night, and the Cats, good win, 45-point victors there, as we find our way back on the winners list, which is good to see. It's been a tough sort of 2 months to watch at times, and you know, when you play the two best teams in the competition, you play relatively poorly. In facets of those games, it all seems like the world's caving in, as per my review last week against the Blues, which they seem to be doing to a lot of teams at the moment. Richmond, the latest victim to that. But, Geelong were able to stay in the game against the Bombers and then go to work massively in that second half and get a really good result on the board. By no means we're back or anything like that. It's a good little confidence booster, getting back to some form. But again, pleasing to see. And it was nice being able to watch a game where you could sort of comfortably enjoy the last quarter, sort of getting it out so that, over 30 points, over 40 points, you can kind of take a deep breath and sort of enjoy the last bit of the game, as opposed to it having to be a real tight tussle right to the very end. It was good. I feel like we've been trying to get one of those sort of wins for a while this year, and it was good to execute on the night. But interesting game, and the Bombers, they haven't beaten us since 2018, and I was at that game actually, where McKernan looked like Wayne Carey, and we had basically hardly any pressure all day. And the Bombers, we kind of let them do what they wanted to do. But there was no doubt about it. We're definitely vulnerable going into the game. We've been out of form, out of touch. And the Bombers probably haven't been at their absolute best either. But it was definitely, if they were going to sort of have a time to beat us, so this would be the time. And they weren't able to sort of, keep it going for 4 quarters. They definitely did for the first half. It was pretty even Stevens for most of that first part of the game, and it was goal for goal at times, and they got sort of some easy shots up forward, some pretty easy goals from stoppage, which I think most of their goals, or at least half their goals out of the night, came from forward 50 stoppages, and so some of those we couldn't really defend that well, but boy, it looked dangerous when we went inside 50. Pretty open forward line, and probably one of the most mobile forward lines we've had in a long time. With Neil, Cameron, and Rowan, who, have kind of found their mark there. With Hawk out, gives Neil more opportunity. He's always going to run and jump at it. He might not mark everything, but just ensuring that the opposition doesn't mark it, will be massive for us. And then Rowan got off the chain, and Cameron did what he did. Could have even had more goals on the scoreboard, but he obviously, he missed a couple, and that was okay. But first half, Bombers got out the front of stoppage a little bit, and they had some relatively easy entries without too much pressure at times. And look, defensively, it didn't look that great early on in the piece. Bombers, as I mentioned, had some Scotty calls them soft goals, but again, we were able to sort of snap at the heels and kind of respond and not have the margin be blown out. And I think, the Bombers definitely had some field position and definitely had a good chunk of that second term going their way. And it has been a bit of a danger quarter for us most of the year. I've talked about in previous reviews this year, is where teams can seem to get on top. Somehow it's the second quarter. I don't know how or why. Maybe ask Sydney how they start off poorly. But they were looking really threatening, and, I think they were a goal or two up, and out of that, they probably should have been further up. But kudos to the back line for being able to hang in there and ensure that the scoreline was relatively even Stevens. And then from that second half, 10 goals to 2 in the second half. So what was really pleasing about the win was just keeping the Bombers to 60 points. It was obviously a pretty dewy night, but we managed 105 points. So ourselves, but simply keeping them to a manageable score, and a score we probably haven't seen for quite some time. Actually, we have conceded some pretty big scores in season 2024, So, yeah, look, it was really good in that second half to see us win that ground ball more regularly, and then off turnover we were really damaging the Bombers, forcing them into turnover. Some really good tackles, holding the ball, decisions. Were really good. Geelong win by 45 points, and people were happy to go saying it's the umpire's faults that we won by 45 points. Can definitely say there was a couple of decisions that weren't ideal at the time that didn't go Essendon's way, but I think we've had what Essendon had for most of the year to be completely fair. So, I think Draper dived on the ball in the last 5 seconds of a game and didn't get pinged for holding the ball, which is the definition of the rule. But anyway, I don't want to get too stuck in the umpires. Irrespective of that, the Bombers weren't able to curtail us. They weren't able to appropriately respond even after those decisions. When they had probably a quarter and a half to amend the momentum, and they couldn't. So Geelong were able to put a stamp on it and to get their running game going. Off halfback was really good. Our pressure lifted, which was great to see. Just looked relatively composed, made good decisions, kicked it to space for our forwards to get onto, and converted relatively well on a pretty dewy night. Well, it wasn't dewy, it was raining, and I can attest to that, directly being there. So, look, a pleasing result. I actually didn't expect to win. I thought the Bombers were going to win by 4 or 5 goals or something like that. So to win by 45, definitely went against my expectations going into the game. I'm really glad. We'll talk about, obviously, the players in a bit more detail soon, but good to see Humphries have a crack, and thank God we put Stewart in the middle. I don't know if I've been saying it offline for weeks and weeks. We've surely got to put Stewart in the midfield where we're weak. At this stage, we can always sort the back line out. It's probably a little bit easier if you defend it going into the back line with greater effect. So, we'll talk more on those guys individually later. But, some good signs from us. And, certainly not out of the woods, and still have a stack of work to do, to be in the finals conversation, even though we are sitting, what are we sitting at, 9 and 6 at the moment. With not the healthiest percentage of all time. So, by no means am I jumping over the moon and getting too excited. But it's just good to get back on the winners list. It's good to play well, and find a win when you perhaps weren't expecting it. I guess it evens out when you've had a few that you didn't expect to lose. It's nice when it comes around the other way as well. So that's a bit of a wrap-up of the game, and we'll have a bit of a look at the stats from a team perspective, and then get stuck into some of the players and votes and how the overall individuals performed in the team. Disposal-wise, just under plus 30 for us. More of the ball there. Inside 50s were relatively even, but I can't really recall a game where a team's had the same amount of inside 50s as points kicked, or where you've had more inside 50s and less score on the board, so I don't think that would happen too often. But good defence to not get overwhelmed on the scoreboard despite the 60 inside 50s. Disposal efficiency, the Cats were able to be more clean with the ball. Bombers a little bit less clean with the ball combined with the Cats' pressure. Efficiency inside 50, the Cats definitely were able to make their winners count when it did go inside 50 for us. Free kick count, Bombers +3. Hit out, so they had Goldie and Draper up against SDK. So, they clearly got the nod there. Clearances, Bombers +8. So, a little bit of a concern for us. Well, it's nothing new, but not too bad, all considering, the amount of stoppages that were there on a pretty wet night. Sending clearances even, which is okay, and then around the ground's often been our Achilles heel throughout the year. But good to get back on top in terms of the contested ball. So, just winning that ball first. And, post-contest, I felt we were a lot better than what we have been, just being able to win that ground ball and then ultimately force it forward, play the conditions really well, which I felt we did. On the outside, where most of the surplus possessions were on our side of the coin, +29 there. More turnovers for the Bombers. Makes sense with their disposal efficiency. Able to get our control game back a bit as well. So, yeah, some more uncontested marks in amongst all that. So that is plus 24. I think my maths is about right. Yep, that is spot on. Marks inside 50. Bombers obviously took a few early in the game, a lot less late in the piece. 14 marks inside 50 for us. So that was good to see. Contested marks doubled Essendon's contested marks. Time in front, well, pretty even game in terms of, both sides had their look at the ice cream, and Geelong had a bit more time in front, and we're in front at the right time. Tackles, this is really good. So more at the footy and more tackles is work rate. You can have a team of superstars, but if they don't work hard and don't do the nitty-gritty stuff and all the little one percenters, you're nowhere. So just unconditional effort is just something that you don't need talent for. You just need a mindset to do, and I felt like that was evident on the night and pleasing to see. Tackles inside 50, good to see that number over 10 for us. Bombers were tough to escape at times. We found our way out though. Same amount of interchanges, don't see that too often. Same amount of interchanges taken, I should even say. All right, let's have a look at the player stats. Yes, that's where we're at the moment. It was really tough to sort of, I don't feel like there was any player that was absolute standout, which I like to see. If we win, it's great. Because then, it means we're not relying on any one individual. But I'll go 3 votes to Jackie Bowes. He kicked a goal, had the 26, 6 marks, 7 tackles, 4 clearances, a goal assist as well, almost 600 metres game. And he only had 62% time on ground, so that is quite an effort. I did not realise that. When I was watching back the highlights, obviously at the game, but I just felt like every goal he was just like involved in, so I reckon his scoring involvements would be quite high. Might have to check the advanced stats to get a bit more visibility there. Scoring involvements, 5, so he was definitely active on that front and really good for us. 2 votes, very tough. I'm going to go Ollie Dempsey here. He had the 25, kicked 2, had 4 marks, 4 tackles, and 2 goal assists from his 95% time on ground. He works super hard up and down the ground, converted on the scoreboard, which helped us big time and also helped set up his teammates. So 4 goals directly off the back of his influence. And the 1 vote, I was nearly going to give this man the 2, but I went back to 1. Gary Rowan, he had the 2 goals next to his name for the game, 12 disposals, 7 marks, and 3 goal assists. So 5 direct goals from his game. And he was ferocious. He was marking everything, very clean hands on a night that's not for tall forwards. So I thought, and he always sort of does his best to try and minimise the opposition moving the ball out of the back half, with his pressure that he applies. No tackles, but I'm sure there would have been a stack of chases next to his name. So it was really influential and really liked his game. Gazza. We'll go through the rest of the team. Tommy Stewart, as I said, about time they got him in the midfield. Put your guns where the ball was going to be. And, he was probably going to get tagged by Guelphy. Didn't end up happening because we were proactive and put Stewie around the ball to give him some confidence. He had the 23, took the 8 marks, 5 tackles, 4 clearances. And even, with him starting at the stoppage, he was able to sort of go behind the ball and then play his role where, he would normally play that intercept mark role. So, there's definitely no issue with him starting at centre bounce and being a centre back player as opposed to, some players a bit more centre forward like maybe Paddy or Dusty and these guys that might do that. But he was really influential, back to some of his better form. Really pleased with Stewart's performance. Maxi Holmes kicked a goal, had the 23, 6 marks, 4 tackles, 1 clearance. And he just cracks in from the back half. Really likes his game. He gives us so much drive and love what he does. So, yeah, Max played a good game for mine. Over to Brian Myers, he didn't hit the scoreboard in a big way, but he had the 20, 3 marks, 8 tackles, 3 clearances, 2 goal assists. That's what he loves doing. It's his bread and butter. Able to put the ball on a putter at times, and yeah, you feel really confident when the ball is going inside 50 and it's left his boot. Paddy had the 22, 5 marks, 6 tackles, only had the 1 clearance for the game, which was interesting, but yeah, he was playing a little bit more forward at times, so yeah, give him a little bit of a chop out there, and yeah, look, his hands were super clean, just like Rowan's. He was just clunking them, 1 grab. So yeah, his hands were really good on the night, and yeah, that doesn't need cracking. Try and stop him. Mitchy Nevitt kicked a goal. It's good to see him get a crack at it, and he had the 13 touches, 8 marks, 5 tackles. Also got a clearance for his good work there. So yeah, nice little Chinana at the end there. He slotted one very nicely to get us over the century. Pretty good in the air. So yeah, like what he does for us. He brings us something a little bit different for that sort of wing half-back role. So yeah, good on Mitch for having a go. Blitzarves kicked a goal. He had a 15, 4 marks, 6 tackles, 8 hit-outs, 4 clearances. So yeah, does all the real hard stuff that doesn't get all of the most incredible stats on the stat sheet. But yeah, he was able to kick a goal when we needed it. And he does a lot of the hard yards for us. Loved Mitch Duncan's game. He kicked a goal, 20 touches, 5 marks, 2 tackles, and a goal assist as well. Kicked the first goal. Feel like he likes playing against the Bombers, and I believe it was a tactical sub. Hopefully that was the case. So yeah, Mitch has had a really good fortnight. I felt like in the Carlton game when all the chips were down, he was up and about. So I liked the way Duncan sort of pursued throughout the night. Zach Tui, really good game from Zach. He was sharp. He had the 20 touches, 4 marks, 3 tackles, 2 clearances. Yeah, he looked like he had lots of energy. He was quick. He made good decisions. And just used the ball incredibly well. So yeah, this is the Zach Tui we like to see on a more consistent basis. Had a real tough one last week. I'm sure he wasn't alone there, and it all looked pretty bleak. With some of the recent form, but yeah, he was back to some of his better footy on the wing halfback for us. On the Saturday night. So on your reg, good stuff. Tommy Atkins had the 19, 2 marks, 4 tackles, 3 clearances, almost 400 metres gained. This man is an absolute wrecking ball, has a red-hot crack at it. I felt like he got a bit of space last night. So, yeah, good to see Axe have a real red-hot crack at it. This man's going to be a very good player. He already looks like he's played 50, 100 games. Lawson Humphreys on debut had the 15 touches, 6 marks, 3 tackles, 3 clearances. Yeah, he was clean, composed, not too flustered by the occasion in his first game, and he's got a bit of Sam Mitchell about him. I don't know if he's left or right. I think he's a right footer, but he can kick them both just completely fine. So something we lack a little bit with. We've got a lot of right footers, not too many left footers. So Humphreys, very impressed with what I saw, and look forward to seeing more of him. Jack Henry had a bit of tail, 2 halves. He had the 15 touches, 6 marks, a tackle clearance. Looked a little bit wobbly in that first half, but his confidence sort of rose in that second half and was a little bit more assured as the game went on. Zach Guthrie had the 17, 6 marks, 3 clearances for him. Just doing a pretty solid job for us down back as he does each and every week. SDK in the ruck again, loves to get his 20-plus disposals, 21 again this week, 3 marks, 16 hit-outs, tackle, and 5 clearances. So, around the ball is not too bad with that second effort, so hopefully they can persist with it, and, we can always bring in O'Sullivan if there's a demand there. We'll see how Cole Jasney and Henry and these guys go, of course. But, he might turn into a ruckman, which has been, again, another area of weakness for us over a long period of time. So Stewart and DeConing moving from the back half into the midfield. Rob and Peter to pay Paul to an extent, but clearly even with those guys down back, it was a struggle street. So something had to change, and I'm glad the coaching staff acknowledged that and ultimately executed it, and it's done well for this week. Cole Jasny had the 11 touches, 5 marks, 5 tackles. Again, he had some moments where he didn't use the ball as well as he would have liked, and had some interesting moments. But again, he lifted, especially in that second half when the whips were cracking. Bradley Close played well. He kicked a goal, had the 10 touches, 3 marks, 6 tackles, goal assist. I felt like especially early he was in everything, getting involved in the real crux of it and the play there. Enjoyed his performance, and back to some better form for Bradley. So liked his game. Stengel, some great news on that front with Tice. So looking very good. He kicked the 3. 10 touches, 3 marks for his efforts, goal assist and a tackle. So 4 direct goals from Stengel. Good to see. He finished his work magnificently. 3 straight, and looking like, we've got a little bit more ties to come. So that's obviously great news for the club, and I'm stoked to see him stick around at the Cats. Chesa Cameron kicked 2-3. 12 disposals for the game, 3 marks, a tackle. A pretty solid game from Jez. He obviously could have kicked a few more, but missed a couple. That's okay. Just good to see him deep forward where he can sort of be, hopefully, at his most damaging. It's like since Paddy's come back, he's just been told to not go past the electric fence, outside 70. Scratch kicked a goal, had the 8 disposals for the game, at 2 marks, 2 tackles, 3 hit-outs, and one of the marks was an absolute clunk. Unfortunately, couldn't finish off his good work, but I'm just excited to see this guy, grow and flourish as time sort of progresses. Just keep playing him; he'll be completely fine, and he could have had multiple goals next to his name had he converted that other one, but not to be. But I do know he's going to run and jump at it, have a crack at it, not get outmarked, or very rarely get outmarked, when the midfielders do kick it in long. The Shark, he came on for a little bit of the game as a sub, had the 6 disposals for the game, 6 kicks, 3 marks, and a clearance. So, he had a good little run on. And Jai Clark only ended up with the 8 disposals, which is quite interesting. With the game time, he had 70% game time, took a mark and 3 tackles, a couple of clearances. So, I didn't really notice that. He had only 8, but again, he'll become a star in time, and his time will come. Alrighty, that's a wrap of the game, and we'll have a bit of a look at next week. There's some really tough games on the run home, but we'll just worry about the game in front of us. We've got the Hawks at the Cattery. I think Hawthorn have won. Well, it's quite amazing. They're only a game behind us. They've won 8 games. We've won 9. They've been cracking in massively the last sort of couple of weeks. Probably should have 9 wins really with that Port Adelaide game that they stole almost in that last 30 seconds with 2 goals in that 43 seconds effectively. Look, we're going to have our work cut out. It's not going to be easy at all. I think the Hawks and their midfields really looking menacing at the moment. Their small forward line's causing a lot of dramas. Their gut running from D50 to forward 50 is quite explosive. So going to be really tough. I mean, at the Cattery, we're not easy to beat there, and the Hawks can't just keep winning. So I reckon we're going to be able to do enough to win, but I feel like it's going to be that 2 to 4 goal margin our way. But it's going to be going to be close. I just want to win. So not for any moment going cool. That's one we'll just roll on and kick and win by 10 goals. But feeling like we should be in a position where we've got a decent side in to be able to get the job done, but it doesn't guarantee anything. And just because you win one week like we have, Yeah, certainly doesn't guarantee anything, in future weeks, but positive, performance. 45-point winners the Cats were. Back on the winners list. It's good to see. It looked very, very bleak, but when you play the two best teams in the comp and you're not quite up to it, that's feedback. And hopefully this is just building blocks more than anything and a step in the right direction as opposed to Geelong being back to their 2022 form. That might be been and gone, but pleased to get the result. 45-point winners on the night, and sitting in the top 8 nicely on 5th position at the moment. So that obviously can all change very, very quickly if you have a couple of poor weeks or even if you have a shocking loss. The top 8 or even the top 13 is very fickle at the moment. But there you go. That's a wrap of the review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Interested to hear your thoughts on the game and I suppose Cats' aspirations for the rest of the season. Give the video a like if you enjoyed the review. Don't forget to subscribe so you can catch up with each review every week with the Cats having a crack at it. But that's all from me, folks. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.